I don't know what it is, but thank you. Hello there. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. I had trouble getting in just now. A lot of trouble. So I had to start again. I am so sorry. I've been trying for 10 minutes here. I hope people will come around. Oh my goodness. Hello there. Sorry about the tech issues I just had, but I'm finally on. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. I'm happy if you're here. Say hello, please. There's a lot to talk about tonight. It's insane. And I thought it would slow down. Yeah, right. Welcome to the show if you're here. Don't be shy. The live show tonight's discussion topic, as always, anything you feel newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. The show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and to serve as an educational tool in cultural competency with a focus on learning the truth about our racial history. So let me see here. I have some quick announcements. If you want to get a hold of me, I love getting, oops, that's not it. Let me try one more time. I love when people say hello, and I have a page you can write me personal messages on if you want to say hello, or feel free to send me cutting edge news because I need it because I can't keep up, probably just like you. Mario, hi, thank you for being here. I'm just getting started a little late due to my tech issues, but I'm happy to have you. We have to catch up. I've been seeing some good stuff from you. Let me see here. I am starting a book club. It's a book discussion club, and I'm really hoping people want to be in it. I'm not going to be reading a book to you. Don't worry. I'm going to do a quick summary of the book, and you can either read it or not. I mean, what a deal. Come to a book club that you don't even have to do the reading. I'll do a summary of it, and it'll all be kind of beginner stuff, but I'm really hoping people want to help educate and, join in, and I learn every time I get educated. So, hey, I can thank the people for being there. I'd like to have a set panel of people who want to be in it. We're going to start with White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. I know that's a little bit like, people have read it, people have seen it, but I think it's really worth a discussion because so many new people in 2020 have started to open their eyes and pay attention to, we have a huge, the way I look at it is, sure, they're a little bit late to the game, but who cares? If they're in, they're in, I'll take anybody. I'll help educate white folks who want to learn, try to teach them where they're at. Harper, welcome. Thanks for being here. So if you want to join in that, I'm thinking of Sunday night at 9. It's just going to be a half an hour, nothing crazy, nothing too long. I'm just hoping to get some steady panelists who want to come on and contribute. And it'll be really easy because it'll just be chapter 1 week, okay, enough of that. If you want to call in tonight, that would be awesome. I do have a rant. So I'm going to give the number right here. Boop. There it is. So if you do want to call in after the rant, please feel free to. I have a question of the week. And this week's question of the week is kind of intense. For me, at least. I want to know what you think. If I'm off target, I'm off target. I want to know that too. Okay. I've heard a lot of mixed feelings from my friends about Black History Month or African American History Month. I'm not sure what is the proper way to call it, but no disrespect either way. GETV, welcome. No rants tonight. What? I've worked hours on it. You can maybe mute me for no rants. Obviously, every month should be Black History Month. Jesus, this is like no duh, right? But apparently, it just isn't. It makes me sick to think that we have to have a special month because, see, every day's Black History Month because Black folks, African American folks, brown folks, indigenous folks have been here since the beginning of time. Okay, they're the original people here. And the truth is, they have added so much incredible things to America and the world. And we should be celebrating them every day. So rant over. That was my rant, GETV, just kidding. But some people, so here's the question. Some people I've been hearing like are kind of pissed off about Black History Month and just saying I'm not into it. I don't want to celebrate it. It's ridiculous. And I've heard a lot of things and that's not my place to judge. That's anyone who's Black, brown, indigenous, of mixed heritage, I want to know what you think. It's important to me to get it. And there's no monolith. I know everyone thinks something differently. So bring it on. The question is, let me see, how shall I put this? What's your take? What's your take on Black History Month? And I have some ideas of why it might be kind of a strange thing. I mean, 2020 has been pretty much living hell. And 2021 really doesn't seem too much better. At least there's some hope, I hope. I don't know. But anyway, so if you're going to comment on the question of the month, please feel free to put Q of M or question of the month, or just put something. And the question is, what's different about this year? What do you think about Black History Month this year? After all that has gone on in the centuries and centuries of systemic racism in America. So that's my question. The topics I prepared tonight are, oh my gosh, a little girl was sprayed in the face with, I guess, pepper spray, mace. I don't know what it was. While she was handcuffed, she was 9 years old. She was a Black child, and a bunch of police stood out there and watched and didn't do shit. And obviously, if you know me really well, that's extremely upsetting. And she was already upset because of some problems that were happening in the family. I cannot think of too many things more rotten to do to somebody who's already really emotionally upset. And 9 years old. Okay, these are just the topics, but I'm already starting. Sorry, it's really upsetting. I taught in Compton for a bunch of years, and my kids were 9 years old. My first class had 36 kids, and I had them for the first set for 2 years. So we became very close, and I cannot imagine. Michael, welcome. I can't imagine. Anyway, I can barely watch the video, but I think it needs to be discussed. Every day something else comes up. The second thing I have, Carrie Beck, hello, welcome. I'm good, Michael, thanks. Black Lives Matter, been nominated for an award. And I want to talk about that a little bit. And the racist police chief in Georgia, who basically he was the freaking chief. So just whatever. And then maybe people want to talk about the, Black History Month and what they think. So go ahead, and I'm going to start my rant. I'm going to make it really fast, GETV. You can put me on mute right now. And this rant is very personal. I try not to be like personal, like let's make it all about me, but it's personal, and it let's just say I cried yesterday. I cried yesterday because I guess I don't know why I cried, but my rant will tell it all. I'm pretty sure, and you'll know what happened. So here's my rant. It's very personal. A day ago, I posted one of the most honest videos I've ever posted about white folks needing to take racial responsibility for systemic racism in America. I mean, heck, it's only been, centuries. The focus of the video was white America's inability to have any empathy. Our apathy is off the charts. So my rant tonight is a letter to white Americans about white fragility. And I know that term's been used and coined, and you know what? I'm sorry. If it fits, it fits. If it works, it works. Some of my videos are intense and passionate, and I get that. And some of them are really, really hard for white folks to watch, especially white folks just beginning to understand what the hell's going on here. But that does not make them any less truthful. We have a brutal and barbaric racial history, unbeknownst to most, that's been incredibly depraved even after emancipation. And that's the part people don't get. I hear people saying slavery was so long ago, and I really want to just slap them because it tells me point blank they have no clue what they're talking about. And I don't mean to be rude, but I get it over and over again. Clearly, they've missed out on 155 years of absolute brutality and inhumane history. And we're still doing it. We're still doing it. Just look at police brutality today. Every part of American society is wrought with systemic racism. Every part. That's it. My video mentions scores of significant events to research. So for folks who are white, because remember, I speak to white folks, I have nothing to teach Black, brown, indigenous people, African American people. How would I know? I mean, I don't live it. And I've been told many times by people over the years, white folks, that my video messages need to be a little kinder and nicer and sweeter, and that I shouldn't be so direct, and maybe white folks would want to listen. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, I call bullshit on that. I've been doing this long enough, passionately demanding and insisting in being really upfront and forthright that white folks need to educate ourselves in our real racial history and stop living a lie that's killing people and destroying lives is not shaming people, and it isn't mean. If you've done nothing wrong, how can I shame you? The truth is, white folks feel ashamed because of their own feelings, not because of anything I have to say. If you look at it this way, it becomes crystal clear. People are dying, and we, white folks in general, won't listen to the message because it makes us feel bad about ourselves. What the hell is up with that? I'm sorry, that's on us, okay? No one can make you feel shamed except yourself. The white majority in America forever has had the power to stop electing racist politicians. But our collective culture is too freaking selfish and indoctrinated in white supremacy to support change. Some of us can't even see it. What? We had a Black president. What? Slavery ended a long time ago. Oh my God, get a life, please. I'm not trying to shame people. This is ridiculous. We're in an incredible age of communication technology. If you want to know what's going on, it's out there. And it is so frustrating to see my fellow humans be shot, killed, scared, die, everything like that. And then have white people go, what? I'm nice to everybody. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just, I'm frustrated. I mean, if I'm frustrated, I can't imagine how people who aren't white like me and have privilege feel. I can't. I don't want to know. I mean, I can feel a little bit, but I'll never know. So instead, what we'd like to do is make it all about us, our feelings. It's about us, white folks. But you see, here's the thing. Our feelings are not more important than stopping systemic racism. I'm sorry, they're just not. My video points out how white people in America lie to themselves to ignore systemic racism. You won't listen to what my Black and brown brothers and sisters have been enduring with regards to police brutality and systemic racism their entire lives. But you will spend lots and lots of time telling me, a white person, that I'm not nice enough in the way my message comes across. Well, you know what? Maybe that's because people are dying that I love. Maybe that's because my fellow humans are being abused. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get all emotional about this, but it's too much. So today I'm kind of making the rant about me. But here's the catch. You'll spend hours and hours, overall telling me how mean I am, even though I have a 101 series, Anti-Racism 101, very nice, sweet, nice teaching. There is absolutely professional. But you'll tell me the subject matter, I'm just making it seem so bad, and I'm making it seem so mean. And it's because here's the catch. It's not a nice thing. Okay. It's a barbaric thing that we as white folks have allowed to happen. I say it in my videos, the buck needs to stop with us. Okay. We did this. Sure. There's some people who are causing problems for themselves. But if you look back in history and you know your history, we have caused so much of this systemically. I mean, how would you like to be abused and mentally tormented generation after generation, and then told, here, have your kids and raise them without anything? Life doesn't work that way. You can't abuse people generation in, generation out and say, now you're free, woohoo. Life just doesn't work that way. And you know what? Black Americans and African Americans have persevered anyway, despite what we have done. And most of it's been legal. If you do your history, you'll know. So we did this, not you personally. Please don't get defensive. But we as a collective, over the centuries, we've ignored it all and allowed it to happen generation after generation. I don't know what your personal excuse is that you use. Okay, if you're white, I don't know. But there's a ton of them out there. Then we have the freaking audacity to blame Black and brown people. And then once in a while, we'll throw a few breadcrumbs out there to make Black and brown people feel okay, like, oh, we care. I'm calling bullshit on all of this, all right? No, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a white hero here. This stuff makes me sick, all right? I'm not even on Facebook anymore, except for my page. So I'm not trying to get my face on Facebook and, oh, look at me, I'm a white person who cares. I'm just a white person who cares, and I'm done being told, be nice, be sweet. Oh, what? They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen if you're nice. They don't want to listen if you're not nice, or anywhere in between. And being a hero is a rather, disingenuous place to focus it on ourselves rather than the crime against humanity that I truly believe is systemic racism. It's an ongoing one. People say, placing blame on people is counterproductive. And you know what? I would normally totally agree. I am absolutely with you, but not for this. Because the wealthiest people in our government who hold the power, the wealthy white folks, have the money to market the lies. And they've been doing so for centuries. And guess what? We fall for it every single generation. It's like nothing has changed. Just a crumb here, a crumb there. White America is more concerned about confronting racism because we're afraid to deal with our own bullshit. Okay, I'll just say it. Sorry. We are afraid to deal with the fact that our inaction contributes to death, brutality, and a horrific burden of mental strain on Black and brown people. The white masses have been fooled by the wealthiest elites into blaming Black people for all that's wrong in our life when we are the main cause of it. We have no clue about our real racial history that occurred after emancipation and continues to this moment. The video I put out yesterday lists scores of topics that need to be researched and investigated. After learning the truth, I'm sorry, no one in their right mind could deny systemic racism in America and the role we white folks play in making sure it stays alive. We have 74 million people in America who follow a cult that believes that Black people are not as worthy as white, and that is disgusting. So yes, I am passionate about this topic, and I am unapologetic about it. And I'm truly sorry if my videos hurt your feelings. The truth is, just ask Colin Kaepernick. It doesn't matter how the message is told. It doesn't. We whites don't want the message. We don't want to hear it. End of rant. I hope you survived it. Thank you for listening. I will take some comments. Remember, the question of the week is, what do you think of, African American History Month? I've heard a lot of people saying, screw this thing. I'm not into it. And if you feel like you want to open up and tell me why, I would love to hear. And I will take some hellos. I'm thrilled to have people here right now. Jump on in. This is a place to be real. This is not a place to be, just kind of beat around, no. Say what you want. You have every right. And I will read what you say. I mean, unless it's like completely off the cuff and I'm going to get, kicked off YouTube. In which case I probably won't. I will scold you and I will not read it. But I'll probably want to read it. So that counts. Welcome. Oh, Tim. Yay. You're here. And Michael and Mahako, thank you so much. And Carried Back, I appreciate it. And GETV, I think if you're still here, you survived my rant. I don't know if Mario's still here, but I sure appreciate his videos that he does. Let me see here. Let me go. My first couple comments. No, this is not how you are. Not sure about that. Tell me more. GETV, tell me more. I want to know what you think. But if I don't get it, obviously, or you can call in because the rant is over and I will understand better. Babylon period. Okay. America is straight up Babylon period. Michael, let's catch up afterwards. Thank you. Oh, and no, we're all into this together. Oh, hell no. No. Welcome to America. And let me see what else we have. Neil Zglitter, you're mean for pointing out their participation. I think not, dearie. Thank you. I knew you'd have something. No, it's too much. I'm human. I just kind of snapped yesterday. Let me see. What do you expect, Angry Soccer Mom? America is founded on bigotry and slavery. It wasn't for slaves. America wouldn't be anywhere today. Nothing will change. The swamp until the swamp is drained. Period. Got it. Nielsen Glitter. Nothing will change. Carrie back. You are on fire tonight. Oh God, thank you, thank you. It's. Lassie, thank you for being here. Right wingers should blame themselves for their jobs are shipping overseas. Right wingers policies is what makes that possible. And Timothy, haha, crazy. Who are you talking about? I'm sure you're not talking about me. Just kidding, Tim. I'm Legend. Welcome. Your rant was very powerful. Thank you. Thank you. I was really nervous to do it because I'm just a really nervous person. No, I don't know. You can't argue with stupidity, and I have caught up. I want to jump in there and tell everybody I need things to slow down. How about you? And we all need some type of relief from COVID and all this. And I'm not really going to get into that tonight because that's not on the subject. But if you have anything that you are excited about, upset about, angry about, bring it on. Any topics. If I don't know about it, you have to provide the information. And of course, we'll scrutinize every move you make about whether it's true or not. But please jump right in and talk about whatever you wish about anti-racism, anti-bigotry, corruption, and inequality in America. And that covers everything. So I have news to note, and they're going to be really quick. And you can always talk about those too. But I didn't prep for news to note. But first of all, most of this, I bet you all pretty much know. News to note. A woman was charged in the Capitol riots, asked if she could go to a vacation in Mexico. And I actually have her on my YouTube channel because she did a whole bunch of really strange things. She's also the person who did a smug little video showing off that she broke into Pelosi's office. More news to know. Activists have repeatedly pointed out the glaring disparity between how white Capitol rioters, insurgents, okay, it was a coup. I heard, okay, I'm not going to get into it, have been treated versus peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters. Oh my God, it enrages me. But now it's being reported that a Black man who was a participant in the Capitol siege has been denied bail, and he's impoverished. He is a homeless person. Well, his white counterparts are mostly set free. And that is goddamn disgusting. And it's like, even in a situation where there is people fighting, for being racist because they just love being white supremacists or against, you have it there. You have systemic racism and you have people being racist as fuck there. Like police at the rallies where you're protesting police violence are violent to non-violent. I mean, this is crazy. It is enough to make my head spin. I don't know about you. But it's like, this is how out of control this country is. We literally cannot control ourselves. White folks, we just can't. And I don't know what else to say. I'm just being real about this. This week, AOC did a video explaining the details of the trauma she endured during the Capitol riots. And she also talked a little bit about very personal things. If you want to check that out, this is news to note. Kaitra Bryant from, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, give me some phonetics right on there. From Charlotte, North Carolina, apparently got this very strange, and I'll have to look into it more, explanation from American Airlines regarding a racially sensitive bank charge. As Bryant and her boyfriend were traveling out of Charlotte Douglas Airport on Thanksgiving Day, they checked in with American Airlines. But when they received their bank statement on Saturday, she found a particular charge saying African American service charge. What the actual, what? And that's on News to Note. So that's something I'm going to be looking into after. Last thing on News to Note, a lady now being called the Atlanta Karen, I guess, another one of those, verbally abused LeBron James at an NBA game this week. And I added one more news to note. This woman, and I put a video up on YouTube of this absolutely fucking indignant woman, a white woman. 2 Black men are professionally working as movers. Okay, they're professionals. They have a business. That's what they do. They dare to park somewhere near her driveway, I guess, or I don't even know. And this lady has the audacity and clearly the privilege, she thinks, to basically cuss them out, just using racial profanities, being obnoxious. And honestly, I mean, I've never seen anything that like entitled. Well, I can't lie. I've seen a lot. Okay. But that was pretty damn entitled. I don't know why she did it. She proudly did it. She must have horrific self-esteem issues. How about, oh, guys, I'm so sorry to bother you, but do you mind moving your car? Because I can't get out of my driveway. Hello? It's called acting like a freaking human. I don't get it. I have no excuse. I have no anything. So have you heard of all this stuff? Has everybody heard of all this stuff? Because I want to know what you think. Black Lives Matter has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And I am thrilled personally, just thrilled. The Black Lives Matter movement has been nominated for a 2021 Nobel Peace Prize for compelling countries all around the world to address systemic racism. I know a lot of us think it's all about here because we're here. And, I mostly do stuff about here because I can't even keep up with here in the US. The Black Lives Matter movement launched in 2013 following George Zimmerman's acquittal for shooting Trayvon Martin, who was an unarmed Black teenager, and he murdered him. The case kickstarted the international movement to address the controversial death of Black people at the hands of police. And I promise you, this is not a new controversy. Don't get me wrong. If you're brand new listening, if you're a white person brand new listening, this is not new. It's just, it's been centuries. So people are finally starting to notice and talk about it. And yeah, it's causing a lot of controversy, but it was always there. It was just kind of kept quiet. There is nothing that I know of. Let me think. Maybe a few things. There's nothing I know of that gets solved by not talking about it. My neighbor, a couple of years back, I started talking about racism, and this was a while back. This was even before Trump. And she told me, shh, don't talk about it. It's people like you who talk about it and make racism happen. And I was like, oh my God, I understand what turns Little Miss Hand into Little Miss Fist. Of course, okay, I won't go any further, but let's be real. You don't solve things without talking about them. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Okay. So what happened was Black women started Black Lives Matter, and they are heroes. And someone in the Norwegian parliament named Peter Eide nominated Black Lives Matter, according to The Guardian. This is what he said. I mean, talk about, this guy should come teach a few of us over here. He said the group's been able to mobilize people from all different groups in society, not just African Americans, not just people who are in oppressed groups, in a way that has been different from any of the predecessors that came before us. The Black Lives Matter movement was, and I'm going to just destroy the names, but I do not know their names. It's Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tometi. I hope I've said those right. Those are the co-founders of this amazing, and I hope they win. The mission spread in the years thereafter. Protesters denounced police killings of Black Americans, including Michael Brown, Eric Gardner. I'm not going to go on and on because there could be everybody. There's too many. Black Lives Matter amplified calls for justice. Last year, after law enforcement, basically we saw George Floyd murdered and Breonna Taylor murdered and so many more, resulting in mass protests all over the world. And Peter Eide says it's a strong linkage. He says it's a strong linkage between anti-racism movement and peace, and a recognition that without this kind of justice, there will be no peace and stability in society. And I think that's a beautiful thing from a man from Norway. It's just unbelievable. He's a person who's in the Norwegian parliament. So they have the right to, I guess, nominate people. I really wish he'd come over here and do some speeches for us white folks. He dismissed criticism, dismissed it. So this guy's on the ball. He dismissed criticism. The Black Lives Matter movement is violent, and citing the data that we've all seen, 93% of Black Lives Matter demonstrations do not do any serious harm at all and are completely peaceful. And I have to say, from what I've noticed, and I've seen a ton in videos, because, well, you've seen my video that I have one video on my YouTube channel that has about 25 different ones. Many, many times it's been reported that people infiltrate, they try to get into, pretend they're into Black Lives Matter, the idea that Black Lives matter. If Black lives already mattered, we wouldn't need to have this type of organization and movement. That's the thing. And a lot of people end up infiltrating and making it look bad. Police, I've seen police in so many cases, and I know you guys have too, where it's a perfectly nice, peaceful, and oh my God, lo and behold, a police just loses their shit and starts pepper spraying someone in their eyes. I mean, I've seen so much crazy stuff, and I know you have too. To make things violent, yeah. So I'm not buying 93%. I bet it's much higher if we factor out. I bet the peacefulness of all of the protests is way off the charts, higher than that. I'm just saying, because I don't think we're factoring in all the instigators that are doing things on purpose. Most of them being police. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. He goes on to say, awarding the Peace Prize to Black Lives Matter as the strongest global force against racial justice will send a powerful message that peace is founded on equality, solidarity, and human rights, and that all countries must respect these basic principles. And that's what he wrote to get them nominated. That's what this politician in Norway, he's in the Norwegian parliament, named Peter Eide. This year's winner will be selected in October, and the awards ceremony is supposed to be like a year from now almost. He dismissed criticism, this man. I mean, he did this all himself. Dismissed the criticism from right-wing voices that there's been violence. He said studies shown he did his homework. Studies shown that most of the demonstrations by Black Lives Matter have been peaceful. He said in a statement, of course, there have been incidences, but most of them have been caused by the activities of the police or counter-protesters. And I thought that was pretty damn with it for this guy all the way in Norwegian parliament to do that. So now I want to know what you think. All right, so let me see. So a bunch of people saying things, and I'm going to read them. Let me see. Where did I leave off? Nothing will change. You want first? Okay. I think I left off. You cannot argue with stupidity, GETV. Well, you can try, I guess, but here's the problem. People who don't want to know the truth are going to do whatever it takes to not know the truth. Especially in this wealth of, we're like in a we're in a pre-truth era where fake news is being given as much credit as the truth. And so a lot of people are like, we have to come together and unite. Well, when we do that, I think that's a great idea. Uh-oh. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, family. How you guys doing?
Hi. Thanks for being here. Who do we have here?
That is good. Hey, listen, I'm thinking about the guy from Norway. This is Tim, alias Coach.
Hi, Tim.
And what I'm hearing is that this guy is giving Black people some sort of approval that they are okay. We could have told you that. We don't need someone to tell us that we're being abused. We could have told you that. And we know that we were peaceful. If you don't believe me, remember on the 6th, they were climbing up the White House. So that's what it looks like when it's not peaceful. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that, but also,
so you feel like Tim, let me ask you a quick question, if you don't mind. I'm sorry to cut you off. On that topic. So you feel like the man who, the Norwegian Parliament member, Peter Eide, he chose Black Lives Matter to nominate them for a peace prize. You think he did it because he was trying to be like a white supremacist kind of? I just want to hear you. I want to hear what you mean. Like, what are you saying?
No, we're being validated by white people again. Black people, besides Martin Luther King and Desmond Tutu, they won those prizes because they literally put their lives on the line. So Black Lives Matter are probably doing the same thing, but we don't need to be validated by the Europeans for Nobel Peace Prizes and things like that. Those things don't really have significance for Black people, but it does have significance in the world, so that the world knows that we are being oppressed and abused in this country, not just by, our history, but we're being abused today by law enforcement. Today, I did a presentation for the legislature here in Washington State on police brutality. And what we brought up was that the policemen are over-policing here. Not only over-policing, but they're killing us, okay? And so they allowed me to talk about House Bill 1054. And what it says is that basically get rid of all the armaments that the police have during these protests.
You mean
because
military?
When Black Lives Matter have a protest, they bring tanks.
You mean military?
They bring machine guns.
The militarization?
Yes.
Is that what you, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right. We want them to remove all the military weapons from the police departments and just try a different method, a different community style policing. I think I mentioned that on one of your shows.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
They're actually trying to implement that, but they need to pass a bill because for some reason, white folks will not believe in that unless it's a law. And I keep telling them slavery was a law, but it wasn't right. So this is what we're doing down here in Washington State. We have fun because the headquarters for Black Lives Matter is here in Seattle. They just had to throw that in.
They are lucky to have you. So I haven't heard any statements from the actual women who were the founders of what they think, but I understand your point 100%. I don't know. I know everybody has their own opinion. I'd love to hear what other people think of that. As a white person,
absolutely.
I immediately thought, finally they get some recognition for what they deserve. And I didn't think of it in those terms. And hey, that's why I have people on like you to help educate me. I know that's not what everyone thinks, but
we also threw in dogs because they train dogs to go after Black and brown people. I thought that was just, and then we have all these animal rights folks talking about how we abuse these animals, but we make them weapons. And we want them to stop training dogs in their canine units and just disband it.
It needs to be dismantled. I mean, I know you, of all people, know this. We've talked about this at length, that people, you have to understand. And remember, the show, I gear it towards white folks because I don't know what it's like to live as a Black, brown, or indigenous African-American person in this systemic society of like wretched systemic racism at every turn. But I do try to learn as much as I can. And we all know that the police origins really, it's kind of like they stuck with the mantra that they have, like kill first and ask questions later. It has not really changed. It's shifted obviously with time, but not the whole culture. I'm sorry. They have always been the gatekeepers of systemic racism and still are. Yeah, go ahead.
I wish I could hang out a little bit longer, but I'll probably call back soon as the spirit hits me. And
Tim, I love it.
I'll try not to be too greedy tonight, but I'm having fun. You have a great show.
Thank you.
I'm really enjoying myself.
Thrilled with your work. I know a lot about his work in Washington. He's amazing, and you're awesome. And I learn something every day. Okay, call again. I'd love it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was my friend Tim. Yay. Oops, I didn't hang up on me yet. Bye. Tim and I have been close friends for a really long time. He's wonderfully supportive and just an incredible human being. And I love him. Okay, I'll go on. Sorry. Let me see. So you're welcome to call in if you want to call in. I want to hear what you have to say. I mean, you can say, I didn't agree with the last caller, whatever, or I did agree, or I want to know what you think. Less talk from me, more talk from you. How's that? Don't be shy. I'm not going to humiliate you, or at least I will never on purpose. So don't be afraid to call. The number, actually, I think I might even, yes, the number's right there. I love getting calls. I don't know why. What's wrong with me? Let me take some comments. Lamont, thank you so much. That is a great compliment. I appreciate it. I'll take whatever I can get, because boy, oh boy, this week's been a toughie. Getting, some weeks are better than others, and just like with systemic racism and personal racism and racism in the workplace, sometimes you'll go without having too many problems for a week, and sometimes you won't. So it's just, this was what a week. Nails and glitter, we already knew that. Let me just back up. Yeah, of course you did. Let me see. Leslie, Black Lives Matter was awarded the Olof Palme Prize. Olof Palme was the Swedish Minister of State and was murdered in 1986. He was born rich but became a socialist after he traveled the U.S. when he was a student at Harvard. Yeah, you guys, I have to make like a confession here. It's not really a confession because it's not a secret. I have 3 friends who moved from the U.S. 3, they're men. They just happen to be men. So they left for one reason and one reason only. Because of systemic racism. They decided to leave their own country. And I don't know like billions of people, but I alone have 3 friends. Different people don't know each other who left. And that is disgusting. Disgusting. I mean, I'm thrilled they left because they're so much happier, and they all went to different countries and different places. But that's how bad it is here. People who do come here from other countries are like, oh my God. And I'm not saying, I can only speak for our country because it's a country I live in. But white folks here, oh my goodness, we are really, really needing an education, a lifelong education. We'll never learn. We'll never get it all the way. We'll never say, all right, I'm woke. It's ridiculous because we'll never know what it's really like. But we can keep trying. It doesn't mean we don't try. Just because we're born into this, don't get me started. Just because we're born into this doesn't mean we go, oh, not my problem. No, actually, it is our problem. Because in the end, it's cruel and inhumane, and it's rotten. And it's not acting like a human. And I'm sorry, it's not. We're so lucky. We get to be able to think, have critical thinking skills and ability to analyze and do analysis and learn and read and all this stuff. And when we let ridiculous propaganda and fear take over our lives to the point where we no longer are able to be logical and say, that just doesn't make sense. Somebody says, oh, Black people are the cause of everything. You think, I know my history. That's ridiculous. In fact, we actually have purposely, knowingly, systemically, legally tried to stop Black folks and brown folks and African-American folks from accumulating generational wealth forever. And we still are. That's what we do. So know your history makes you get it. Now I'm just blabbing. Let me see here. I'm going to back up. Okay, wow. Ellis is murdered at the same time Floyd was murdered. Tell us more, Tim. If you're still here, tell us more. T. Rogers, thank you. I got on late. I had trouble getting on because of technical issues, and I have no idea why. But I'm here. Thank you for putting up with me. GETV, did you see the new video that shows the officer that killed George video has had a history of brutality just a couple weeks before the George Floyd incident with brutality? The officer keeps getting off. That's what we do, and you know that as well as I do. I did not see it, but I knew the one had a history just from reading like way back when. I didn't see a video, but I read that he had history. And the truth of the matter is and I've been planning to do a video on this. Many of our police officers, surprise, surprise, yes, that was sarcasm, have major issues with anger management. So yeah, that's what we want to do. Don't train them. Don't check them for implicit bias. Don't check them for overt racism. Don't look at their social media to see if they're racist as fuck, and give them a gun and let them go around Black people. Oh my God. Could we please come up with something more terrifying? These people have guns. Oh, and make laws that they have total impunity so that when they do fear for their lives, I'm sorry, if you're in the police today, I'm sorry, I am not trying to be rude, but the truth is, you might not be doing it, but you're watching people do it and you're not turning them in. So you might as well be doing it yourself. It's called integrity. I've had to turn people in. I know it's not easy, but you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, for God's sakes. So, okay, I'll shut up. But Tim, tell us more about, and okay, next. Lily, you should move to New York. I'll fit. I live in New York. Oh, New York City. Maybe you meant New York City. You should move to New York. I'll fit in. Not a lot of racists at all. I'm Black, and all my white neighbors have Black Lives Matter in their windows. That makes me so happy. That makes me really happy. We have pockets. I'm from California, Southern California, and I've been here so long in upstate that I don't know what's going on where I used to live, but I know up here, the further north you get, it gets ugly. I mean, ugly to the point where when Trump was trying to get elected in 2016, I dropped my little daughter off at a birthday party that she wanted to go to. And I hit up a Trump rally, and it was ending. So there was only like 10 or 15 people there, but wow, did I get an education. It wasn't pretty. I didn't get to ask all the questions I wanted to ask because the one guy was really getting mad, and I cut out parts that, but anyway, if I could have stayed there longer, they originally thought I was wahoo there for the rally because they looked at me and immediately were like, come on over. And I was like, I was going to be really upfront and say, I'm appalled by you. I'm here to video, I'm here to basically interview you. I want to know why you do this. How can you be like this? But then something in me said, angry soccer mom, shut up. So I didn't tell them, but I'm sure they caught on because I had to leave because they were not happy. I left before I had to run, but yeah, they were not happy. This is a long story, but anyway, we have issues. New York State has many pockets that are amazing. And so does the East Coast, a lot of places. But I know in New York State, the further north you go, and it's not everybody, but it's enough. I won't even mention politicians' names. I'm not going to say. Just get me on a rampage. But yeah, that is so cool. I am thrilled you're here. And on that note, I'm going to do a quick plug. I'm trying to build this. My entire objective is to help white Americans learn about our real racial history so they can support our Black, brown, African American, Indigenous, people of mixed heritage for real equity in 2021. It's so sad that I'm even having to talk about this. This should have been a non-issue by now. I'm sorry. It's really upsetting. But that is what I do. If you believe like I do, that it's way past time for white Americans to step up to the plate and educate ourselves. And please subscribe and watch my videos. Some of my older ones are really, really ranty. I have a 101 series that is very sweet and nice and darling. I tried to make it. I'm a former teacher. My master's degree is in behavioral management and special education. And I kid you not, I am not being mean because special education kids, most of them have regular IQs or above. In fact, you can't even get into special ed unless you have a huge discrepancy between your IQ and your ability. So I am not downing, but honestly, I like to treat some of the folks that I work with very, very specially. And that's what we do. As a special education teacher, I make a special program for each student. And that's what I did for a long time to try to get white folks to catch on. And it works. It's just really slow. It just really, really slow. So anyway, let me keep taking some comments. T. Rogers, it depends where you are in New York. Yeah, absolutely. But that's awesome. There's a place in Pennsylvania and New Jersey that I took. If you go on my Facebook page, which is called Angry Soccer Mom, I took tons of pictures when I was out there of like, it was awesome. People had like mannequins of people pouring bleach for, making fun of Trump a little bit. And they were just such beautiful. It was like, God, this is beautiful. Why can't, this is the way life should be. Anyway, I'm like, tweet, tweet, tweet. I'm like a flower child going into nostalgic, like wonder and knowing that, you know what, we couldn't be further from that. It's 74. I just say it. 74 million people wanted Trump. Yeah. Okay. I will be quiet and take some comments. Let me see. But I love it, Lily. Thank you so much for your great comment. I don't credit people enough for, and that's the problem, because I don't think we should have credit for it. And it's just a mixed mash of, you don't get credit for being human. You don't get credit for loving your fellow humans and treating them like they're your brothers and sisters, because they are. And I'm not downing what you're saying at all. I'm just saying, like, it's so sad. It speaks to where we're at, that it's like, wow, that's so cool. It's like, that's the way life should be. Okay. You triggered me. Just kidding. I'm happy you're here, Lily. Let me see. For instance, upstate New York is very racist. Thank you. Thank you. That's right on the way up there. I have friends who live in upstate New York who encounter it regularly, just saying, yeah. Yes. Okay. So but you know what? A lot of people think of it as New York City, and I know, and the areas around there, and there are some pockets that are amazing. So I totally get what you're saying. Let me see. I just skip around like a silly one. Okay. Let me just back it up here. Lassie. Watch Olaf Palme. I'm sure I'm just murdering his name. Why I Am a Democratic Socialist. That is awesome. If you have any information on that, bring it on. Just throw it on the right on the comments. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here again, by the way. Having someone from another country is just very, very eye-opening. So pretty cool. Lamont, you're doing a great, thank you. Nails and glitter. I appreciate it very much. The blatant example of the police doing nothing to right-wing violence extremists while sitting protesters get maced. America as apple pie. Yeah, it's like, it's surreal to me. Not because I've never seen that before. Oh, hell no. I was in the LA riots. Are you kidding me? I was a teacher in Compton. I know I've seen a lot. It's just, I don't get used to it. I don't know. Aren't I supposed to normalize this like everyone else? All the other white people? I don't get used to it. It's unfucking believable. Okay. I swore. Sorry. But it is. I mean, if I'm not going to swear for this, then what would I swear for? Okay. Uh-oh. Hello. Uh-oh, am I in trouble? Thanks for calling. Who is this?
Hey, Angry Soccer Mom. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Well, let me make a few statements real quick so people understand. See, white Americans are afraid of change. That's the bottom line. The demographics are changing, and they get upset about it. Mm-hmm. And that's what that riot on the Capitol was about. It's never about jobs. It's never about anything, because most of the companies are ran by white men. So why are you angry at people of color? That makes no sense.
Because we believe
None
the lies.
At all.
We believe the lies.
And so this whole thing is about change. Change is going to happen. You might as well get over it. It's going to happen. Ain't nothing you're going to do about it. That train left the station a long time ago.
Yep.
Long time ago. And try to hide behind jobs and this is about this. That's just all bullshit. It's not real. This is all about change. The demographic change in this country. This is all about, period. Mm-hmm. Nothing else.
Thank you.
If everybody say it is, they're lying.
They're making excuses. They're trying to, we don't want to face the truth. So
correct.
It's about this. No, it's about us and our white supremacy. And that's what it's about. And I appreciate your comments, because speaking the truth is, go ahead.
Real quick.
No, go ahead quick. You have time.
The whole thing, like I say, if it was about jobs, then why are you not angry at the corporations that ship jobs overseas, which makes no sense? Those corporations are ran by white men, not even white women, but white men. So why are you angry at people of color? That trope, that excuse has been used for years on poor white people to vote against their interests, and they do it every time. As long as they don't get it, I'm happy. I don't get it. That makes no sense. They're so busy being a detriment to themselves.
Right, exactly. We're doing it to ourselves.
It makes no sense.
What was that?
And so that's just my whole point. It's like, and also they're afraid of people of color going to do the same thing to them that they did to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that fear is about as well. Nobody's in for retribution, even though we should be.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. Yeah. No,
but we're not. We're here to raise our kids and get jobs like everybody else and try to make this country a better place. But like I said, when you live in fear and ignorance, and and Trump was a total turd. A man was a habitual liar.
That's a nice way to
put it. He was a man, they only care about himself.
Oh,
and he duped those dumbass people to voting against their interests and voting for him.
Against their own interest, against our own interest, against our democracy's own interest. My God. I don't think he's that charismatic. I think he's an ass.
Not at all. Not at all. The man can't even spell.
I think he's learning to say that. I think he's learning.
But he's the great one? I don't think so. Now, I didn't like George W. Bush at all under his policies. But is he a racist? No.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's no comparison. There's just no comparison to Trump is his own. He is the modern leader of the Ku Klux Klan. I'm sorry. He's a de facto.
Exactly. And he knew it because his father was a Klansman.
Absolutely.
His father was a Klansman. His father was already cited by the government for him trying to deny black people interest. He was raised around that.
Yeah, he was arrested at a rally.
Why would you not think that wouldn't rub on him? That makes no sense.
And he also, Trump has a number of videos from way back when where he talks about eugenics. He's a eugenicist. It's so obvious. It's just look at anything he's ever done. He's a total, right. It's people, they want to believe the lies. White folks don't want to know the truth. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
Me either. But thank you. I appreciate it. I just wanted to
thank you for calling in.
Comment.
Thank you so much.
Because truth is truth. You
exactly.
may not like it. Like I said, you may not like it. Still, not doesn't make it not true.
Exactly. And thank you so much. I'm thrilled you called in. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Awesome. That makes me really, really happy. And part of the narrative nowadays is this thing where we want to meet. And I was starting to talk about it. We want to meet in the middle and unite. And there's nobody who wants to unite more than me. I mean, maybe there is, but I don't know them. No, I want to unite. I do. But not compromise. Whereas people on one side are delusional. I'm sorry, I don't mean it meanly, but they aren't going with science. They aren't going with social science. They aren't going with facts. They are going with their emotions and their fear because they probably have been raised that way maybe, and they bought into it. Many of them, I think, have been kind of indoctrinated into this Trump thing. But if they really knew the truth, the only way we're ever going to get economic prosperity in America is by going after the wealthiest elites who run our country. And by meeting halfway with the crazy people, when I say crazy, I do not mean to disparage people who have mental health issues. Okay. I mean, I don't know what to call them. I don't understand. They're talking about crazy things like Jewish people shooting lasers at, have you seen the conspiracy theory stuff? I mean, it's off the charts. You can't meet halfway with insanity. I'm sorry, you can't. It's more like you have to educate folks to understand that they're going to be okay if they think about this. And yes, thinking hurts and it's hard. I don't have a genius IQ. It hurts, but you got to do it. You got to do it anyway. Okay. Yay, Colin. Uh-oh. I might be in trouble. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi. Welcome to the show.
Hi. I heard the discussion about Trump and like, you know, how all these stupid people voted for him, basically. And I really think that that has to do with herd mentality. Like, if the whole
herd mentality.
It's like you better vote for him too. Just, you know, if your whole family voted for Biden, and it's like, what are you doing? Why are you voting for Trump? And you know, if you're surrounded by people that are just like you, how can you say that you hate? For example, if you're white, how can you say that you hate Black people and you've never had any type of interaction with them or anything like that? Because if you watch Reformed Klansmen and stuff like that, people that used to be in the Klan and they got out or whatever, it usually happened when they met a Black person that influenced them or was able to give them their perspective
Absolutely.
on their experience with racism and things of that nature. So that's really all I had to say. I just feel like there needs to be more exposure and interaction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a fantastic point. I used to work, the first group I worked in, that's all it was about. That is all it was about, is getting people to meet people that in their entire lives they'd never have contact with, because we're so segregated. But I appreciate your point of view very much. It's an incredible point, and it's like for Dixon White, he's a friend of mine, and I know he's online and he does videos, and he was raised racist. He's the first one to say it. I was raised racist, but he had a Black roommate in college, and it like opened the world to him. And I don't care how it has to happen. It just has to happen. 3 out of every 4 adult white people in America do not have a single close friend who's not white. And so how the hell would we know, So I appreciate you calling. Do you have anything else you want to say while you're on?
Yeah. Actually, you reminded me of something. You know how, like, let's say in high school, like maybe you wanted to talk to someone, but they were an outcast, and your friends were like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why are you talking to that person?" So it's kind of like that too, and that's how I feel like some white people might be a little bit intimidated to kind of open that can of worms with people that are racist that they know. So they might not want to deal with like any criticism or scrutiny or anything like that. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of pressure to stay.
I feel like that can work with any ethnicity as well. Like there are some white people that hate not white people, I'm sorry, there's some Black people that hate white people because of the history of the country and things like that. But I just think that there needs to be more of an open discussion, and that people need to be more open-minded, and just,
put our fear aside. Like the white folks need to put our fear aside, even though we're afraid. Like maybe we'll say something wrong, and we probably will, but we can't be afraid to try. It's very, very awesome points. Anything more you want to say? Did I lose you?
Well, that's really all I have to say.
Okay, well, that was amazing. Thank you so much for calling in. Seriously, I appreciate it. All right, have a great night. Don't be a stranger. It's awesome. Great points. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled. What a sweetheart. I love getting calls. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love getting calls. I love it because you can hear the person and their sincerity and it's God. Amazing. Let me take some more comments. If you want to call in, the number is somewhere down here. Somewhere. Uh-oh. Someone's not happy with me. Uh-oh. Okay. Let me just scooch back up. Let me see here. Sorry for the delay. Oh my gosh, lots of comments I'm skipping. Okay. Okay, think I'm caught up. Sorry about that. We agree with you. Okay, this is GETV. We agree with you, friend, in a way. Angry Talker Mom is not about talking about it. It's time for doing things about it. Every country has their revolution for justice. It's just America doesn't want justice. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you know, the reason I talk about it so much is because most white people pretend it doesn't exist. And I want to be a role model so that even if they don't listen to a word I say, and they're like, oh, look at that idiot, look at that lib, whatever, you know, they always say that. I want them to see, just like the average white person coming on, talking about it and living through it, because people are afraid to talk about racism. And that is, that's a great way to make sure we have some serious issues. Like I said in my video, like I said tonight, if you do a little research, there is nobody in their right mind who will not understand what we have done to thwart generational prosperity for Black, Brown, Indigenous, and African American people. I mean, there's nothing. It's not hard to catch on. We've done it at every turn. And whenever Black folks rise above, we find another way to stop them. And they find another way to overcome. And it's unbelievable, really. And it needs to end. And I don't have any political power, but I do have my voice. And I'm not going to be a white person who sits home and says, nothing I can do. Because you know what? There probably isn't. But I'm still not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go there. That's a cop-out. That's an easy way out. And for me, I can't do it. I don't think everyone should be doing this. I'm not trying to guilt people out, or I'm just saying, I can't, for me as a person, I can't stay quiet. I won't. I can't. Have you heard me talk? Okay. I'm actually extremely shy. Until I hit like the ripe old age of, you wish I'd tell you, I just decided I had enough of it. And also Dixon White helped me. He really, really helped me to realize that it's not about me. Who cares if I can barely put a sentence together? It's that I care that matters. So anyway, yeah. So it might seem like, yes, I talk about it a lot, because as a person not in power, what can I do other than educate other white folks? There's not a lot I can do. I can sign petitions. I can go call my, politicians and whatnot, and I do. But also I live in a very, very blue state. So it's tough. Anyway, blah. I hope that answers your question about doing something about it. Plus, I don't lead. White people don't lead in the doing something about it. We support. It's not our place. That is, there's not a chance. We're not the leaders. We're the people who support. And so my role is to support by talking to white folks and getting us to understand that we need to take racial responsibility. Us. No, we didn't own slaves. No, but we benefited. And we benefited from the laws that people who came before us that look like us did and still do. So you don't just ignore a problem because you didn't do it. Sorry. Like I always say, do you walk past someone in a pool slowly, slowly drowning because you didn't shove them in? Of course not. Do you walk by somebody in a pool slowly drowning because you didn't build the pool? No. Okay. And I am not saying all people who are Black, Brown, Indigenous, and African American are slowly drowning. I am not saying that. What I am saying is that we see what's going on in our society. We do see it. Okay. We might not be in our conscious, it might be kind of in our subconscious or another. We do see it. yet most of us do nothing. I can say, think about Jane Elliott. She has an audience in front of her, and this is what she says. Huge audience. She says, raise your hand if you'd like to be treated the way we treat Black people in America today. And then she says to the audience, I don't think you heard me. Raise your hand if you'd like to be treated the way we treat Black people in America today. And nobody raises their hand, of course. But we constantly hear, what? There's no systemic racism. What? So we white folks know a little bit more about this topic than we're letting on. Because you see, it's not okay for us, but it's okay to do nothing and watch it happen to you. So, speech over, sorry. Sorry about that. But yes, so I talk about it a lot, yes. Lila says no to Rogers. I hate racist people. I mean, it's hard to like racist people. I don't hate them personally. I don't hate them because I want to help them. I don't know what's wrong. I want to help them. They're scary sometimes if they're overtly, like depends how far, but I want to help them to like become evolved. I don't know. I don't hate them. I don't hate them, but I mean, I understand if like, especially if you were a Black person, I don't blame you for hating them. It's not my place to say whether you should or shouldn't. That's out of my lane. I don't know how I'd feel if I was a Black person in America. I'd probably hate everybody. I mean, this has not been a nice thing we've done. And it's 2021, for God's sakes, and we're still doing it. Okay, I'll shut up. But no, I totally get it. T. Rogers, it's interesting to me that Black history is not required in school. Oh, T. Rogers, it is not just not required. Absolutely. It's not allowed. I mean, I know you know that, but I'm just saying, for the white folks listening, it's not allowed. Real racial history is not allowed in school. It may if you went to maybe if you're homeschooled or something, but it's not allowed, and there's a whole thing going. And then it's absolutely purposefully, systemically not allowed. Because if we know our real racial history, then we'll realize that we've done some horrific things and we're still doing them. And we need to change our ways. So it's whitewashed. Yeah, and you can't. I always say, if we put a comprehensive, really, really well thought out program written by Black, Brown, Indigenous, people of mixed heritage, African Americans, and a committee, people who are professionals and really get this stuff, we could undo so much of this. Oh my God, but we don't want to. It's not that we don't have solutions. We don't want to. For police brutality, oh, please, we have solutions. We don't want to use them. There are places that have lots and lots of really, really bad crime, and they practically never pull their gun out of their holster. Okay? And there are places that have barely any, and they've shot Black people, you can count up on your fingers. We have solutions. We white people don't want to use them. A lot of folks are under the impression that we just don't know how to solve this. Yeah, we do. We don't want to. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. There are model communities in America, and there are studies done, and there are hands-on field work done. We have solutions. We just won't implement them. Okay, let me see. Yes, it is very interesting. Awesome point, T. Rogers. Okay. Hey, just wanted to stop by VO Noob. I'm not sure if you're still here, especially to say hi to Nails and Glitter. Aw, sweet. I'm glad you did. Marcus in the shadows. California's a train wreck. No need to come back. Thanks. I got family there that I haven't seen in 15 years, but that's a whole other story. Don't get me started. Marcus, thanks for being here if you're still here. I rest my case, T. Rogers. Yes, you're amazing. Nails and Glitter. It's okay. I'm going to skip that. La, la, la. Some people voted for him for financial reasons. Yeah. And Lila, I don't know about your situation, and I am never talking or speaking directly to you. I don't know you. But what I do want to say is financial reasons, sure, I get that. But what those people chose to do, and I'm going to be real here, and not you, I don't know you, is they chose to sell the souls of their fellow brothers and sisters of humanity for the chance at an extra buck. I'm sorry. That's horrific. That's immoral. I'm sorry. That's my opinion, that people come before greed and riches. And he did make a lot of people really rich. He made the wealthiest elites really, really rich. During the pandemic, just the wealthiest elites have earned millions and millions. But he didn't make any of the masses and the people who aren't the wealthiest billionaires in our nation rich. I mean, sure, a few people here and there, but no, most of us are not independently wealthy like that. And sure, they might have thought he was going to and all that, but what they did was they might say, well, we just did it for finances. Well, you know what? Here's the problem with that is, like I said, they sold their soul or whatever, or maybe made a mistake or what. I don't know. I don't know what these people are doing for the chance at an extra buck. That's not right. Anybody could have looked up and seen how racist Trump is. I mean, Central Park 5, my God, his apartments, he decided he had an FBI investigation into his apartments because he wouldn't let black people stay in them. And instead of saying, okay, you caught me, I did it, he did it again and just paid the fees. He's, I mean, the man is a classic overt Klan type. He didn't need to be president and do all this shenanigans for that. We already knew his parents were Klan. His father was caught at a rally in full garb and arrested. There's a record of it. I mean, anyway, I'm blabbing. But yeah, they can say they did it for that. But you know what? The bottom line is his racism, his sexism, his misogyny, his bigotry wasn't a deal breaker for the people who vote for him. Okay? And so they might not be burning crosses on their lawn, but it wasn't a deal breaker. And that's not okay. So, and I have plenty of people I know that want to learn who voted for him. So it's not, Ronald, hello there. I hope you're here still. I'm just blabbing away. Yes. So Lila, I do understand that. I do. Harper, and I wear a Black Lives Matter mask that gives me a lot of dirty looks. Black people around here, there aren't many, are surprised by it. And they say, thank you for your support. This area makes me disgusted. Harper, that is totally awesome. I love that you do that. And that's so sweet. And you know what? My friend gave me, it's so funny. If you don't want to be conspicuous, my friend gave me this mask. And see, can you see it? If no one's answering. It's a John Lewis mask. And it's from his quote on his cup. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. And here's a little cup, show you right there. And the coolest thing is, when I wear this, guess who knows what it is? Only people who have educated themselves. Everyone else has no idea. So I'm not like setting myself up to get someone like to murder me or something, because at this point, a lot of the Trump folks are indoctrinated into this. And I mean, you saw them at the Capitol building. I mean, they wanted to kill our Congress people and our politicians. So anyway, blah, forget about me here. I'm just blabbing. Harper, that's totally awesome. And Timothy, yes, he was, and he was killed in the same way. And the chief of police was running for office and kept the story under wraps. And we found out in the middle of the election. Oh my God, that's sick. Sick. That's terrible, Tim. Wow. Tim, by the way, George Floyd, by the way, the $20 Floyd had was real. Oh, damn. That's I mean, not that it even mattered in the sense that like, okay, you don't murder somebody for that. I don't care. Just the police are, it's awful. We need to dismantle, rebuild them for all the people, humanistic, people who give a shit about their fellow humans, people who aren't overtly racist, people who love their fellow humans. There are people around like this. Raise their pay, do something. There are solutions. We just don't use them. We have solutions, but we don't use them because they are the gatekeepers of systemic racism in America. Always have been, and I will not say it always will because I can't think that way because it's too sad to think about. Okay, enough about Harper. Lila, you're welcome, but it makes me sad that white people don't see how important and needed this movement is and has been for many, many years. Very nice. Okay, let me see. Okay. I'm kind of skipping some stuff. You're having some inner conversation, which is absolutely fine. It's just carried back. I'm back. I had to go deal with mundane but impatient and persistent other demands. Oh, I'm happy you're back if you're still here. Nails and glitter. Okay. I am happy you are here. She Rogers, I still can't believe that those people were that gullible, but I guess that's what hate does to you. Yeah, I'm right with you. I can't either. I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. I agree with you. Like, there's not a day that passes that I think of, how could that many people be so gullible? I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe they want to be. And they're working against their own best interest. That's the crazy part. They're not helping themselves. It's like pretending they're helping themselves when they're hurting themselves. It's like they want to, I'll tell you what it is. Oh my gosh. I just came up with the angry soccer mom theory. People enjoy feeling good. Okay. They don't necessarily have to be good, but they want to feel good. It's like building a giant wall across the border so naughty, bad Mexican people don't come in. Okay. But you see, people who get in and stay, they fly in and they just stay on their visas. So it's like you feel, oh yeah, we'll show them, we'll keep them out. You feel safe, but you're no safer. You're no safer. I mean, I guess that's not a great example, but what I'm trying to say is it's all about the feel for some of us white folks. We want to feel safe. It doesn't really matter if we actually are safe. And that's something that's the only thing I can think of, that people are so into wanting to feel this way that they buy into bullshit. Okay. So please remember, and I'm not trying to scold anybody or be like this telling, but a lot of folks here are still learning. So we gotta, be a little bit understanding. Like, I'm trying to meet people where they're at. So, and I know that's triggering for a lot of people, and I get it, but we got to meet people where they're at. Some people, honestly, I've met white people, Black people, brown people that don't know a lot of their own racial history. And that's okay. Wherever you're at, if you're dealing with me, I'll meet you there. Now, when I do stop is when the person isn't, if they want to learn, I remember I don't teach Black, brown, and Indigenous people. They can by chance learn something that's not against the law, but I don't, no. That's out of my lane. That's inappropriate and obnoxious and arrogant. But that being said, I've had people say, oh my God, I didn't know that too, because I'm always studying things, and some people don't have time. They're working too hard. They're, whatever, they're doing their careers, they're doing whatnot, the school. But we got to meet white folks where they are. There is a certain point where they're not ready, but it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious. So let's try to remember that. Because everybody has a different experience. Carried back. Hooray, and thank you to the caller. His insights were heartfelt and impactful. Yay. Lila, well, clearly I haven't experienced that, so don't call me gullible. Okay, and that could be me. But if you think I'm calling you gullible, I don't know, I'm not sure, and I won't get too much into it, but I don't know you. When I speak in general terms. Just general terms. And not every single solitary person fits into that. So you got to go with what you are. Like if you say, you know what, that's not me, then that's not you. It's like in the classroom when your teacher says, okay, this class is way too noisy. And you think, I'm not being noisy. I haven't said a peep. Well, she's not talking about you. So don't just stay in the conversation. Don't feel like you have to defend yourself. You don't. Okay. I'm in that white people group too. And if I think, you know what, I don't do that, then I don't. But if I think, have I done that? It's good to just think. So don't feel bad. Like, okay, where am I? Lassie, the Republican Party is a cult for stupid people. And yeah, and you know what? I've used the term because it's so frustrating, but I keep getting corrected. Calling people stupid isn't going to win us anything. And I've done it myself. It's just so frustrating because we don't understand. Why? How could people believe in all these lies? How? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. And you lose it. And I'm pretty patient. And I kind of get to where I'm like, I just can't believe 74 million people did this again. But it doesn't mean they're horrific people. It means that a part of them is not great. And hopefully they'll come to terms with that. No person is all the way good. And well, maybe one, but most people are, they have good and they have bad. And they're not all the way evil, except for Trump. Just kidding. And nobody is all the way perfect. So I'm not letting them off the hook. Something has gone terribly wrong. But that's for each individual to figure out. So I'm hard pressed to say stupid. And I've done it before. And I felt terrible about it because they're not stupid. They're incredibly unable to use their common sense and their humanism and their, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't get it. But I feel your frustration. Let's say I feel your frustration. Those kind of people would never get elected in Scandinavia. They would be put in an institution for the mentally ill. Okay. No, it is what it is. We don't have mental health care in this country unless you're wealthy. I'm laughing only because it's disgusting. It's like not having health care for like a medical condition. We have for-profit health care in America. And that is personally, that's disgusting to me. We make money off of people's pain, suffering, and death. And that is why it's so damn hard to get a single test, because if you cost less to kill you, insurance companies are in. And I've had about 8, so I know a lot about them. I probably had 8 different ones in my life. Okay, enough about this. What? I'm not even talking to you. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm almost catching up. Boop. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm almost there. Okay, I lied. There's like tons of stuff I missed. Okay, let me just back up. All right. If you feel like somebody's being inappropriate on here, I can't blab and kind of like take care of people. I can't judge it. It's just, I'm just not that good. So if you do think, just ignore them, please. I am so sorry if you're feeling that way, but it's really, really tough to be a newbie here because we're being really frank and it's called real talk. But so just I can't really figure out what's what, and I wouldn't want to. But anyway, just bear with me, please. We'll get back into subject matter here. I hope you're talking to me, Panther 11. I hope you are, but hey, I'll take it. If you are, thank you. If you are, of course, I can just say you are because you can't answer back. Just kidding. Let me see. Nails and glit. Kitchen politics. Wait, okay, I'm backing up. Jamie, I'm happy you're here. No worries. We're just getting into it. I love having you here. Let me see here. Oh, wow. Kitchen politics. What's the difference between Ted Cruz's, is this a joke? Oh my God. Ted Cruz's wife and Capitol rioters. Ted Cruz would defend Capitol rioters. Oh my. I knew it was going to be a joke. I don't really get it, but yeah, that's okay. Thank you, Kitchen Politics. Carrie. Yes. Keep pushing, keep teaching, keep caring, keep ranting. Can't remember who said it first, but this is truth. In order to learn, you must be made uncomfortable. Carried back. I'm bowing down to you. That is my bowing down to you. Yep. It hurts. Every growth I've ever had with regards to my moving up the anti-racism continuum has been, every really strong growth has been a little painful. I'm sorry, it has. Something said that I've been really hurt. Even the person just the other day, I love this person. I adore this person. And they said something that just crushed me. And a couple of days later, I'm glad they said it. I'm glad. I learned from it. I learned that I'm overestimating everybody's place and what they know and what they don't, and that I shouldn't overestimate. What I tell folks, if you are new to understanding, I tell white people this, if you're new to understanding racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America, systemic racism, take what you think of how racist this country is, multiply it by a gazillion, and you might be coming close, but probably not. Okay. The more you learn, the more you realize, oh my God, this country is racist as you know what. It's because our whitewashed history has been hidden from us. If your parents didn't teach you, most history books aren't going to. You have to do the research on your own. You have to read and you have to figure it out. And there's a lot of push to indoctrinate us at birth. Like I said the last time, when you're born in the hospital, most people in America are probably born in a hospital. If you're born when I was born, I know things are changing, but if you were born when I was born, and no, I'm not telling you when I was born. Okay, sorry. If you were, the doctors were white, the techs were white, the nurses were mostly white, and the people who were the cleaning crew and the cafeteria were brown, black, and indigenous. And from birth, that is what you saw. You were born into it. Indoctrination, right when you come on out, laying in that bassinet. Okay, and I'm just saying, that's indoctrination into the pecking order. So it's pretty strong. I'm just saying. Okay, more comments. Thank you, Carried Back. You are wonderful. Carried Back. And I guess the corollary, I can't say the word, that is, in order to change, you must be made uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just like to change someone else's behavior, and I'm a total behavioralist, so I'm like way into this. You have to change your own first a lot of times. And that's really hard to do. Kitchen politics. Assassins have 3 names. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene is no exception. You are bad. You are bad. I mean, in a good way. Kitchen politics. Who's crazier, Marjorie Greene Taylor or Lauren Bourget? Too close to call. Both are very racist. I don't know Lauren and her background very much, but I've been doing a lot of stuff on the Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it ain't pretty. Nails and glitter. Nina Turner gets so much shit for saying racism is a main function of the country. Does she really? But it's true. I mean, if it's true, I don't get it. I don't really follow her, but like, it's true. Panther with a green apple. Sweet. Love it. Thank you, Panther. Of course, I jumped right to that and I skipped ahead. Love. Sorry. The man on the phone is absolutely correct. GETV. Was it you? I'm just saying, I didn't know that was. Thank you. I thought he was very correct. Carried back. Gigi, hello. We owned federal and state taxes. So we owed federal and state taxes last year for the first time ever. So much for that tax break for the middle class. Oh yeah, right, exactly. It really, really, it's the middle class is just, don't even get me started. Yeah. Nails and glitter. The timeout button is for, okay. Regarding Republican cult being stupid. Okay. T-Raj, thank you. That helps me. It's called willful ignorance. And if you are a white person just learning this terminology, it's somewhere in your mind, obviously, you know something because you don't want to get treated the way we treat Black people in America today. Yet, it's not so bad for you. So you also don't want to get involved. You think, it's not my place. I'm too busy. And it's, in other words, you are purposefully remaining distanced from the problem. And there is no neutral in this systemic racism. If you are remaining distant and just, being nice to everybody, you are maintaining the status quo. It's not enough to just be nice to everybody. And if it was, that would be really cool. But it isn't. You got to learn, if nothing else, learn the 30 plus classic cliche denials of racism, and then get your ass out there and teach other white people and how to debunk them and how to debunk all this, baloney that we're getting. It's been tough. Social media has been out of control and has been playing a much larger role in our lives with regards to news and facts than it should. Check out one of my videos that I did on PSYOPs on Facebook. PSYOPs on Facebook. It is not pretty. Let me just see here. Gigi Nails Glitter. Thank you, T. Rogers. I appreciate it. Nails and Glitter. I will talk to you on Friday, I hope. I don't know if you're still there. Don was on last week and was amazing. Prosecutors issued arrest warrants for Kyle Rittenhouse. Missing. Don't know where oh, wow. Wow. Thank you for breaking news. You should call in if you can, if you're not too busy. But last seen partying with the Proud Boys in a bar. People of color don't, after killing 2 men. Right. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. This guy's out on bail. He was caught doing the signs, and now, wow, that has got to be breaking news, or maybe I missed it. Unstinking believable. Well, if you're still around, Don, bring it on. Bring in breaking news. I started looking into this last weekend, and there's all done it for like 4 hours. I put a ton of stuff together on his, put into a video. There's stuff I didn't know about. There is a lot going on. He's going to get off. I'm telling you right now. And I want to put it together. It's just really time consuming. I took information from all over the place over time and put it together. And I think he's going to get off. I sure do. Thank you, Don. That is unbelievable. I'll look it up right after. If you could come on and more, that'd be great. If not, I've already used and abused you enough. But yeah, great carry back. Great breaking news. Wow. I lived in Wisconsin for 8 years and know more than a little bit about Kenosha. And ooh, wow, that is interesting. So, anyone else want to? Please feel free to call in. I will throw that number up there just in case. If you have something to say, I want to hear what you have to say. Okay. Okay. I got somebody to call in. Hello. Uh-oh. Hello.
Guess who?
Don?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay! I spoke and my prayers were answered. Tell us what's going on. Thanks. I'm being silly. What's going on?
I'm just livid. How the bleep do you lose track of Kyle Rittenhouse? Why isn't this fool wearing an ankle monitor as a minimum? How did he get out? Talk about...
He murdered 2 people. and maimed one of them. Yeah.
Yes, who maimed one of them. The maimed person, by the way, extremely serious. They lost an arm.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
The assault rifle blew off his arm. So he killed 2 and extremely seriously maimed 1.
Jesus.
And he gets out and is videotaped drinking
Do-
beer in a bar. He's not supposed to
Giving
have
the
any
sign.
alcohol as a condition of his release.
Right.
In a bar with Proud Boys.
So this was a second time
and they
because
don't
there
know where
was.
he is.
Is that right? That was the second time then. So this was most recent because they already had him at a bar
Yes.
with.
But now he's missing. They have no idea where he is.
You know, there's a lot of wealthy people who put up his.
Yes,
bail.
he raised over $200K for his defense.
Unbelievable.
So it's just.
How can they not know where he is? That's unbelievable.
That's a wonderful question.
Wow.
Why wasn't he at a minimum wearing an ankle monitor?
Yeah, like
That makes
T.
no
Rogers.
sense
Yep, T.
whatsoever.
Rogers says maybe they're purposefully losing him in quotes. Yeah, I mean.
Well,
dang.
because they had raised over $200K for his defense, he could be anywhere on the planet right now.
Yeah. That's terrible. That's unbelievable. Any other scoop on it, or just kind of a breaking news thing?
When I saw it was just so unbelievable. Then I checked several news sources, and they all verified that this is what has happened.
Wow. Thank you so much for letting us know.
You're very welcome.
It's, like we said, anything more you want to jump in and say? I'd love having you call in. Or is that pretty much, that was a lot. Breaking news.
I got to run, but if there's any question you have that you want me to address right now, I'll go ahead and do that before I go.
Thanks. I'm going to see if does anyone have any questions for Colonel Don? Anybody? But Kyle has a permission slip from his mom who drove him to the scene of the crime. Exactly. Carried back says that's a comment from somebody. Yep. Yeah. If you don't want to keep track of somebody, I'm not going to know where you are. Yeah. By the way, a big chunk of his bail came from Mr. Pillow. That's a lot of fluff. Very funny. We're good, but Don, thank you so much for jumping in. You're wonderful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. By the way, My Pillow guy got laughed off of Newsmax, so that's pretty incredible. Even they have zero credibility for him now. I hope his company totally dies in the tubes and goes extremely bankrupt.
These people are unconscionable. I don't understand it, but yeah, it's hard feeling helpless. All right, thank you for calling in.
You're very welcome. Take care. God bless. Thanks. Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you. You're wonderful.
Bye-bye. We'll talk again soon. Take care.
Cool. So don't be a stranger. Call in. That was awesome. He's so sweet. He like my request is my demand is, I don't know, what's the saying? He called. He got laughed off yesterday, got an apology today. Yeah, these people. T. Rogers. Did you hear about the woman who was at the Capitol riots who was granted permission to go on? Yeah. Was she granted permission? That's the thing. I was looking it up, and that was on News to Be Noted. So I need to look more into that. But we have a Black man who is a homeless person with some mental health issues who's imprisoned and not allowed to have bail. And we have somebody being allowed to possibly go on vacation. I never was able to confirm that they were able to go on vacation. That was the thing. I'm sure if you say that's what happened, that's what happened. I didn't get to look it up myself. So I'm always like really careful, because if I say something, I have 1,000 people who yell at me. That's not right. So I'm not going to say anything. But I certainly read about that. I just didn't read the details. Damn. Unbelievable. A Black person would have been treated like I think you're saying a Black person, not a Block person. I think that's what you're saying, T. Rogers. And let me see if I skipped anybody, like I often do. Of course, people of color don't get released, carried back, only to the coroners. It's unbelievable, is what it is. Thank you to Don, and I think I got everyone. Oh, I hope I did. Carried back to Rogers. That sounds like a great setup to complete this joke exercise. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about, obviously, if you know me really well, hits home for me terribly in a really doubly tough way is Rochester, New York, pepper spraying of a little girl who was cuffed, who was having trauma because her family was having some issues. And the police were called for something. And I can vouch personally that the police are the last people you want around if you are having mental illness. Now, it doesn't mean everybody, but if you are having mental issues, which 1 out of 4 people do have, it is what we have. And we don't have treatment in America. It's a for-profit system. Mental health care isn't profitable. And otherwise we'd have it. I promise. Right? If it was profitable, we'd have it. And this little girl was having trauma. She was 9 years old, is 9 years old. She's alive. And yeah, I figured you did, T. Rogers. Sorry, I wasn't trying to joke with you. You're funny. And I want to read an article. I found a bunch of articles on it, obviously, but the best one I found was from Slate. Go figure. It was just, I ran into it. I'm like, you know what? This is good. So I want to read a little bit about it, and I want to know what you think and bring it on, because this was barbaric. It's like, talk about adding like fuel to the fire, adding horrific pain to a family who's already in total turmoil. It's a terrible, terrible thing. The police are not supposed to escalate things. They're supposed to actually be there to serve and protect. Hello?
Milky warming.
Oh, I knew I'd get one of those eventually. Okay, so what has happened here? Let me just boop. So here's what's going on. I want to read a piece by Slate article about the 9-year-old little black girl who was 9 in Rochester, who was pepper sprayed in her face while she was handcuffed because she was emotionally upset about her parents fighting. A lot of information's been held because of the fact that she's a little girl. So here's the article. The weather was below freezing and there was snow on the ground when a 9-year-old black girl dressed in leggings and a hoodie asked the Rochester police officer trying to force her into the back of a squad car if they could brush her off first. "Can you please get the snow off of me? It's cold," she said. "You had your chance," replied one of the officers. "Get in the car now," shouts another. Officers were responding to a 911 call reporting family trouble that snowy Friday. The 9-year-old little girl, who hasn't been named since she's a minor, she's a little kid, indicates that it was indicated by a parent, I believe, that she wanted to kill herself or wanted to kill her parent. She's 9 years old. If we can be really, really candid about this, developmentally, some 9-year-olds don't even understand the permanence. Now, some do, but it wouldn't be unheard of for them not to understand the permanence of death. So it's just, I'm not saying don't take them seriously, because absolutely you do, but you don't treat her like a goddamn criminal. She is a little girl calling out for help. You help her. Help doesn't mean cuffing her, shoving her in a car, taking her away from her family, and spraying her in the face with poison, mace. I mean, I don't think I should have to be saying this even. This is insane that I'm even saying it. So here's the thing. Let me go on. Okay. During her tormented encounter with the police, she was captured on body cam from a number of people, and the little girl tried to run away and she was screaming. She wanted her dad, and pretty soon she was handcuffed and she kept screaming and they were trying to restrain her. She's 9 years old. Okay, people. I used to teach elementary school when I worked in Compton, California as an elementary school teacher. All my kids were 9 years old. I taught 4th grade. They're not big. Even the biggest ones aren't. They're. She was in cuffs, for God's sakes. One of the things that I'm just going to jump into this, and it's probably going to drive people away, but as a special ed teacher, and my master's in behavioral management, and this is not rocket science, people. Anybody who can think can do this. You do not need a degree. Time is on our side because people's feelings change. And police, when they are in a situation that is not life-threatening, that little girl is not going to kill someone. She is in cuffs. She's not going to kill someone not in cuffs. Okay, she's 9 years old. It's not going to happen. Okay, what happens is you can use time on your side in order to try to diffuse the situation. All right, to diffuse the situation and to make it so that her feelings calm down and change. Little kids, when they're freaking out, anyone who's ever had a little kid or dealt with them, they're irrational. They're totally irrational. This little girl needed to have someone who said, all right, we got your back here. Let's just relax. Not to be hurt, not to be taken from her parents, not to be sprayed in the face, not to be cuffed. She was upset because her parents were fighting. So, Dan, oh my gosh, yay. I hope that's, yes. Awesome. Thanks for being here. So what happened was they did pretty much everything anyone would have done to traumatize a child. She's emotionally unstable, so they do all these things to her. She received no compassion from the officers, despite being a child in extreme emotional distress. Eventually, one of the officers said, just spray her at this point. I mean, that's insane. I saw probably, I don't know, there's 7 or 8 or 9 officers right there. They were standing there. One more try, and then I'm going to say hello. Oh no! Another person who's having a prank call to be silly. Let me see here. Where was I? So eventually they said, just spray her. Another scream, as the 9-year-old was sprayed in the face with this irritant, intentionally causing her severe pain and putting her in the backseat of the car. And one officer said, oh, it's unbelievable. The casual brutality is shocking, but familiar. I'm reading from the article. These are not my words. These are the article's words. The country's seen police do this to Black girls in videos over and over and over. In June of 2015, a 15-year-old Black child was abused by a police officer at a pool party. And I remember that. It was horrific. And these are just the things we get on tape, on video. That October, a teenage girl was flipped out of her desk. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life to a child, I think, and dragged across the classroom by a resource officer in South Carolina. And the little girl had been under horrific trauma in her personal life. I think she had lost a parent. These are children. In May 2020, a 10-year-old little girl was cuffed in Rochester by these police during a traffic stop. Cuffing a child? What the fuck? That's crazy. And 16-year-old Taylor Bracey was body slammed at Osceola, I'm not pronouncing this right, Osceola County deputy. So, I mean, none of these girls did anything that could have even justified such abuse. I don't care what they did. It doesn't matter. This is crazy. Adults often use the excuses for their horrific actions towards Black children by leaning on these stereotypes, saying that Black kids, especially girls, are defiant, unruly, bad. It's the angry Black child now. That's nice. I mean, these are children, for God's sakes. In their minds, these kids have to be reeled in, and the only way to do it is with force. And it's disgusting. It's racist as fuck. And Black children are generally seen as 2 years older and much more not innocent. See, Black people don't get the benefit of the doubt. White folks usually do. Not all, but we usually do. We get the benefit of the doubt. And Black folks, no. And that's a really important point. The girls aren't afforded innocence. They are afforded no understanding. Often they're blamed for their own violence that's inflicted upon them, you know? So none of the officers who responded to the 911 call in Rochester, at least none on the videos, thought to meet a screaming child with compassion or anything. Like, put your arms around her, help this child. Instead, she was thrown in the snow in 17-degree weather and sprayed in the face with irritant while handcuffed and taken away from her parents. If you're 9 years old, that's some scary shit. There was even a moment where in the video, an officer scolds the little girl and says, "Stop, you're acting like a child." And the kid had the wherewithal to say, "I am a child." So it's like, oh my God. She was a child. She's 9 years old. My take on the incident was that there were at least 7 or more police standing there watching a child be abused, and they all did nothing. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. It really does. A 9-year-old child in emotional distress, I don't care what the 9-year-old did. It's a 9-year-old child, for God's sakes. So instead of taking her aside and talking it out and helping her calm down and actually acting like a goddamn human being, they cuffed her, took her away from her parents, and sprayed her in the face with chemicals. Yeah, that's it. These are our babies. I can't even watch the video. So I never posted it on my site anyway, because she's a 9-year-old child, and a 9-year-old child's video doesn't belong on YouTube. So the next thing I have for us is the police chief in Georgia. But it is getting so late. It's getting so late, and I'm so appreciative of the amazing calls and the wonderful comments that I've gotten. So I want to thank you very, very, very much. And if you believe like I do, that it's way past time for white America to step up to the plate and learn about our own racial history, it's just history. No one's blaming you. And care enough to support equity for everybody, because it'll mean equity for us, you know? So thank you for being here. Please subscribe to my videos and my channel if you believe, kind of what I believe. And let me see what else. Watch my videos. I do a live show every Wednesday night at 9 Eastern. And I'm really thrilled to have so many wonderful people here. And I'm also starting a book. It's a book. It's not really a reading. It's a book discussion. It's a book discussion. So please consider joining that. I'm going to send out invitations. So thanks for being here. And don't be a stranger. Please personal message me. All right. And everything is up above if you want to get a hold of me and personal message me. All right. Thanks for being here, Dan. Great to have you, Dan. That was a really nice surprise, and everybody else. All right. Take care. And hopefully I will either hear from you or I will see you next week at the Wednesday show. Good night, everybody. Thanks for caring. Thanks.